going to do that now. Now's when the weather's good.
Yeah, well, the weather's good right now.
Wait until summer.
The weather's still good right now.
Well, that's what I mean. You wait until it gets hot here, and then you leave.
It's already hot here. I'm in shorts.
It's like 70. This is good weather.
You're not wearing your mandals today.
No. No. It's not. If I was going to the game, I might.
Mr. Aaron Davis, everybody. Aaron, glad to have you in today, man, because without you, well, there really wouldn't be a show because everybody else is out and about. I know Brent's out at the games today. Joel's doing an adoption thing with animals, illegal in most states. But yeah, man. So it's just me and you for the next 2 hours, technically. Well, for the next hour and a half, and then we got Joel Willman calling in. He's our NASCAR rep, and he'll be calling in. We'll be talking, and I'll be telling you guys why I was right once again, but we'll go into that a little bit later on. Marshawn Lynch, dude, re-signed with Seattle. I'm kind of shocked at it. I didn't think they were going to do it, and the fact that they signed him to $12 million, that's not good for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised because they still got to pay Wilson. They got to fill in that defense. They got at least three guys that are going to need contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So unless Wilson's good with that and being on his rookie deal, I mean, I don't know how you make it work unless maybe they're going to trade him at the draft.
I don't think.
I don't think they would.
Nobody's going to take on a $12 million contract for him.
Yeah, so I'm not. I was surprised by that as well.
Yeah, that was a little off. Brandon Marshall, I was surprised about this. Brandon Marshall got released or traded, technically, to the New York Jets.
Well, first, clarify that it's Brandon Marshall, the wide receiver.
Yes.
Not the linebacker.
Not the linebacker from Denver.
So, yeah, but he went to the Jets. Good move for the Jets. I mean.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. They need help at wide receiver.
No. They need help at quarterback.
Yeah, but they need a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
So
but I don't understand why they keep throwing receivers there without having a quarterback. Seriously.
I mean, I'm surprised they didn't try and get Cutler in there. They may as well. He's better than Geno Smith.
And then they're talking about, well, they're going to have to release Harvin now. Why? Why not have Harvin and Marshall?
We got Decker.
I will take Harvin.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you put Marshall as your one, Decker as your two,
and Harvin as a slot. I mean, that's the way the NFL is these days.
It'd be great, but you got a lot of money in wide receivers because they overpaid Decker.
Right, but with those three receivers, you only need an okay quarterback, and Mariota will be okay as long as the Eagles don't swoop up and take him.
Yeah, but Harvin's contract's big.
It is.
So I think that it's more of a cap casualty for him than it is that they'd want to cut him.
But at the same time, I mean, they've already taken on Marshall. So, I mean, stay where you're at and bring in a nice young quarterback who has 2 to 3 good receivers, not great receivers, but good receivers to help him out during his rookie year.
Marshall can be great.
He can be. I mean, he's a 1,000-yard receiver.
He's a top receiver in the league. I'd probably put him top 5.
I wouldn't put him top 5 until I see how he comes back from his injury.
Who else would you have up there? You got Calvin Johnson.
Well, anytime anybody comes off an injury, you want to wait and see what they can do first.
Yeah, but it's not like an ACL or an MCL. It's nothing major.
I would definitely say Calvin Johnson's number 1.
Yeah.
I would say Andre Johnson's probably number 2.
I don't know. He's taking a step back.
No, not really.
I'd probably go Calvin Johnson.
Didn't he just catch like 80 passes again?
Yeah, I just don't know if he's number 2.
Well, he's not. He's number 2 without a quarterback. I mean, if he can get to a place like Denver,
I'd probably have him 4.
Could you imagine if Denver picks up Andre Johnson and puts Thomas on the other side?
Can afford him. I think he wants too much money.
No. I think for a chance to actually go to a team that has a legitimate chance at the Super Bowl.
Well, real quick, let's run through your top 5. Who are your top 5 wide receivers?
All right, so I would say Johnson. Okay. I would say Edelman. I would say
Homer pick.
No. I'd say he's a 1,000-yard receiver every year.
All right, keep going.
Who else would I put out there? I would say not White, but the other dude from Atlanta.
Julio Jones?
Yeah, Julio Jones. And I would throw in wow. I would put Larry Fitzgerald in there.
Yeah, I think I'd have Fitz
put
6.
Him as a 5 or 6.
I think I'd go.
I'd put Bolden out there too.
I'd go Calvin Johnson, Des Bryant.
Oh, damn! I forgot about Dez Bryant.
And then I'd go
My bad.
number 3 would probably be. That's tough. There's a lot of good wide receivers.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking there's somebody I feel like there's somebody I'm missing at 3.
And out of all the ones that I mentioned,
Yeah.
Edelman's the only person to throw a touchdown. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I think I'd probably go Andre Johnson right there.
Yeah.
Then Brandon Marshall. Then Fitz maybe 5 or 6.
We should put together our top 10s and
Yeah.
kind of compare it. We got plenty of time for that, though. We're still 54 days from the draft.
So we need to get our NBA playoffs ready to roll.
I'm not that excited about the NBA. The only thing is I'm excited about is the Celtics are still only a game and a half back from actually making the
you want them to
playoffs.
lose.
Not really, because they already have their draft picks.
You got to get like me with the
Dude.
Coyotes. I'm a diehard Coyotes fan, but they won the other night, and I'm like, no, you broke the 10-game losing streak.
They have 9 first-round draft picks in the next 2 years. Doesn't matter where they place them. They're going to be okay.
Yeah, but you got to turn those into players. You can't have 9 brand new players.
Sure you can. You could draft Kentucky right now and be in the playoffs.
Yeah, except the whole Kentucky's going to go 1 through 10 in the top 10.
Probably.
So
yeah, I mean,
the other big news, just kind of around the world, you got those 2 trades. Dockett signed with the 49ers for
Right.
the Cardinals.
right.
Colts are letting Reggie Wayne walk.
Yeah, I think he's going to retire.
I think he was done. I thought he was done last year.
I think he's going to retire. I think he's had a hell of a career. Is that a Hall of Fame
Yeah.
career?
I don't know. I'd have to see his
I have to look at
numbers.
stats. Yeah. I mean, for somebody to play your entire career with one team, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, and what was the other one? Wilfork. They're not going to pick up his option.
Vince Wilfork, I can see going to a place like
I don't think he'll leave. I think he'll resign for less money.
Cleveland.
No, I think
Cleveland had the worst rushing defense in the league last year. I think that Wilfork would be one hell of a pickup for them.
But you just said it. Well,
I mean, I want him to stay in New
with your
England.
one team, and I think Wilford's a class guy that matters to. It's not like he's chasing a ring. He's got enough money. I think he'd take a little.
Well, I don't know
discount.
when you know this is your last contract potential,
Yeah,
you might go for a little bit more
What
money.
situation is better to win?
Well, I don't think you just said yourself. I don't think he needs to win now.
Yeah,
I mean, he has nothing else to prove, man. He's got a couple rings, man. So I mean, Cleveland would be a good place for him.
there's a lot of. I mean,
Tampa
in
Bay
my
would be a
opinion,
good
he's still the
place
best
for him.
nose tackle in the league. He's still the best.
I'd put him up there top 2 or 3.
He's number 1. Right behind him is Kyle Williams in Buffalo.
I'd put Nada in there too.
I consider Nada more of an. He plays in the 4-3 though. He's not in the middle.
That's true.
So,
Williams is
yeah.
a good pick.
but I love Kyle Williams. That guy's
He's a
a
good pick.
beast.
He's a good pick.
Sue looks like he's going to the Dolphins.
They're
They're
saying,
saying that. I'd be surprised.
but the Raiders are setting up a meeting with him.
Yeah. I hope he goes to the Raiders. He
I hope he does,
embraces
too.
all things black and white, black and silver.
I don't like the fans
No, nobody does.
because all they do is fight. I mean, you can't go to a game and not get in a fight. Even if your team loses, they're still going to want to fight you after the game.
Yeah.
So
And they throw eggs at the bus. I mean,
yeah,
but he's the perfect guy. I
Yeah.
mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
We're going to talk draft later, but I saw a lot of people have them picking Amari Cooper or White with their pick.
I
And
would give them
really
Cooper.
like that pick as a wide receiver with either one of those.
Well,
guys.
I already coined it the CNC touchdown factory. So
Yeah.
I got to trademark it.
But I like White too. I mean, either one of those guys.
White from West Virginia.
6 and 1, half dozen the other.
Yeah.
They're pretty similar.
Yeah, White's a little bit bigger.
A little faster.
White's a little bit bigger. I actually got White going in like 11th. 11th.
He's going to be either the first or the second.
I think he's going to Houston because they're getting rid of Johnson.
And you mentioned this earlier about Chad Johnson. Houston's going to let him go.
Andre Johnson.
Yeah. And just think of the Cardinals and Fitzgerald. Same
Right.
situation, similar situation, older wide receiver. And the Cardinals said, we want you to be a face of our franchise. We're going to pay you a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just two different ways
They might still pay him, but I don't know the way of what I've been reading. It sounds like they're really far apart. Usually when that happens, it's not good.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird. I mean, obviously the guys have their own mindset, and Fitz really wants to be that guy who plays one team his whole career. And then you have both teams are great on defense, quarterback questions.
Right.
need help on the offensive side. And one says, we're going to go a different direction. One says, we want you to be the guy. And it's just interesting, you know, at the same time.
It's kind of like when Randy Moss got released, you know, or when they got traded
From Minnesota?
Yeah.
But Moss was one of those diva wide receivers. I mean, Andre Johnson's got a little bit of the diva, but
that's what they said. But when he got to New England, he was a standout guy for a few years.
Yeah, but he alligator armed it in Oakland so bad.
Well, yeah, I can understand that.
I mean,
I can understand that. I mean, because when you're on a team to where it's all on you for them to win, then you're like, look, if nobody else is giving their all, I'm not going to. But when you go to a team like New England where everybody's playing, then you have to show up or you're out. So, which is why I'm keeping an eye. New England doesn't have that much cap space.
No, they don't.
So they're going to do, but Belichick does a great job going through the drafts, you know, picking up people through the draft. Although he does have one guy on trial right now that he drafted who's not looking very good because they just matched the DNA to the crime scene.
Right? Yeah,
to him. So there you go. See, smoking kills and puts you in jail. So don't do it. Don't do it. The Atlanta Hawks last night, they took down the Cavs, third time in 4 games. They looked impressive last night. All the big talk right now is playoffs are a different game. Can they beat the Cavs in a 7-game series?
Yeah, and I don't think they can. And we've talked about it. The playoffs are a different style of basketball.
Yeah.
And with Moskov there for the Cavaliers, they're going to be a much better defensive team.
Yeah.
So,
hey, coach got his first technical last night. Congratulations.
The Cavs coach?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. That guy's
yeah.
That guy is he's dull, man. He's like a professor with the patches on the sleeves.
Yeah,
he's that kind of dull.
Well, last night he came out of his shell. I mean, he was lit up. It was an offensive foul called on LeBron, which was a flop from Atlanta's side. And yeah,
well, the one thing that I see is you got James Harden kicking him in the nuts earlier in the week, and then you got them going after him last night. It's like back in the, you know, and I don't want to say it be the old guy. Back in my day with basketball, but you know, if somebody did that to Larry Bird, Kevin McHale would go over there and elbow him in the face.
Yeah,
and you don't see that anymore. And I mean, I think the Cavs are lacking that guy that's going to stand up for, because put it to hockey. I mean, you never saw Wayne Gretzky fight because he's too valuable.
Right, but everybody else.
Marty McSorley will go over and kick your rear.
Yeah.
And you have that guy that gets their back. And LeBron needs that guy. I mean, before it was
I think that's why they brought Perkins in. Perkins is a brawler. He's a 4-point a night guy.
Well, they need somebody to go over there and be his personal protector.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, you've got to say, look, you can't hit our superstar like that.
Yeah. So I think Atlanta will find out in the playoffs. You know, I think they're a good team.
They are. They're a really good team.
They're still a team. They play great defense. They're fast on their feet. They're basically the Suns of the East, but you add defense. It's the same game on the offensive side. It's just real quick, up and down the court. But when they get back on defense, they're back. I mean, it's amazing how they put them both together and they're making it work. So, I mean, I think that they can go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think they'll lose to Cleveland.
Yeah, I think so too. So, I think if you don't have Cleveland coming out of the East, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to beat them?
And the funny thing is, again, LeBron said when he went to Cleveland, he said, we're not looking at winning this year.
No. But, I mean, the way the league's playing out, I mean, who's better? Right. I don't think the Hawks beat them in 7 games.
They destroyed Golden State.
Yeah, Golden State, I don't think's got them in 7 games. The Spurs, maybe, but they really are showing their age this year. And that's something I know everybody says every year. Well, they're old, but they look like it this year.
Yeah, they actually look like it.
They're going to be a 7 or an 8 seed.
Yeah. And Oklahoma City, once they get healthy, they're going to start running.
And that's just it. Oklahoma City can't get on the same page. Even when they've all played together, they haven't looked that good.
Right.
So who knows?
Yeah. I mean, but the stronger division is still the West. I mean, hands down.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a playoffs from the West.
Yeah. So, and then to have a 2-game playoff in the East and, or 2-team playoff in the East and let it go. Did you see the punishment that was handed down on Syracuse?
Yeah.
Holy cow! Now, do you agree with something like this? It's a person. They were punished due to a guy in the past that worked at the local YMCA, essentially.
Essentially, the way I took it is Boeheim and the other guys, they're being punished because they didn't do anything. They kind of just looked the other way.
Kind of like the Penn State thing.
Yeah, they didn't necessarily do anything wrong. I wouldn't go far as to call it Penn State, but, people came to them and reported it, and they just were like, oh, okay. And so
108 wins.
Inactivity is what I think.
Stripped from one of the winningest coaches in college basketball.
I'm not a big Boeheim fan. I kind of think he's a jerk.
Well, I mean,
he's not as bad as Jim Calhoun, but
they do a great job representing the ACC.
I mean, who else does anymore?
Duke,
it used to be
North Carolina.
I was thinking of the Big East. So.
Yeah. Duke, North Carolina, maybe Virginia Tech. Boston College may make the tournament, but I doubt it. They're a bubble team. So
they weren't going to be in anyway. They already self-imposed it.
Harvard just lost last night to Yale. So Yale could win the Ivy League championship if they beat Dartmouth tonight, or if Harvard loses. However, if Yale loses to Dartmouth and Harvard wins their next game against, I think, Brown, Harvard's the Ivy League championship. So
smart kids.
Yeah. Harvard played here, man. They showed up. They played at GCU.
Did they make the tournament a couple years ago?
They did. They made the tournament last year. They were a top 16 team last year. Sweet 16. So basically Syracuse penalties. I'm trying to get to the gist of it. They have to vacate 108 wins, and it's from 2004 to 2007 season, 2010 to 2012 seasons, and in which ineligible football student athletes played in 2004, 2005, 2006. Now, why aren't they taking wins away from the football program? They're taking wins away from the basketball program.
Well, one, doesn't matter. They don't win any games. Or championships. So basketball is all they really have.
Yeah, it's true for Syracuse. Yeah.
So, but
they can't even play in the tournament. They can't play in the ACC
they already weren't going to play. They self-imposed that this year, which is the handbook since Reggie Bush. If you get fined, just automatically suspend yourself and throw yourself at the mercy of the NCAA.
Right. And they were actually the ones that reported the initial infractions. Syracuse reported the initial infractions and caused the NCAA to do their investigation. So, and Syracuse has come out and said, while we agree with most of the sanctions that are put on them, there are certain ones that they disagree with, like calling out the coach and saying he should have did a better job, when they're saying Jim Boeheim's done nothing but good things for their program. So I don't know.
Whatever.
So that's Syracuse.
It's fine. They weren't going to win it anyway. I think that's okay. The big thing is Boeheim's not the winningest coach anymore. He drops to like third or second.
Right, because he goes down to 858 wins. He was only 34 wins from reaching 1,000-win club.
Which is fine. He's going to get back there anyway. He's still going to coach for another decade.
Right. Coach K is the winningest coach in NCAA basketball history.
Yeah, so he just dropped a couple spots. That's a big thing from it.
Right. So in the end, I don't really think anybody cares because nobody expected Syracuse to do anything this year. So, but we'll see how it plays out. It says Boeheim must sit out the first 9 ACC games of the 2015-2016 season as well. So the remaining games this season, which are few, and then 9 games next season. Interesting. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
UMass and Notre Dame. Did you see that hockey game? See the highlights on that?
I saw some of it. It's a long game.
It was 5 overtimes. 5 overtimes. 8 periods.
And they play again tonight, I think.
Oh, God.
Or tomorrow in the day, maybe.
Oh, man, I don't know.
I know there wasn't much time off to get rest, which was what was unique.
NCAA record 87 saves, and he lost.
It is.
He lost. The other guy had 75 saves. Let me see here. Set a Division I record with 87 saves, eclipsing the previous mark of 78 set by RPI's Dick Greenlaw against Boston University in 1965. UMass's Steve.
There's only
Maslars.
2 schools you hear about in hockey in the tournament:
Boston
RPI
yeah.
and Quinnipiac.
Quinnipiac, yeah.
So the rest of the time, you never hear a word from them.
Nope.
I don't even know their schools.
Right. I don't know what their mascot is. I don't know what the colors are. I don't
even know where they are.
I don't know.
I think they're in Rhode Island.
I'm saying Northeast. That's
Delaware,
what I'm saying.
maybe.
North. I'm just throwing a dart at the Northeast and seeing if I hit them. But yeah, 87 saves, NCAA record. The winner by Steve Maslars of UMass, 75 saves.
Shot. And that's, you just get tired. Mistakes happen.
Yeah.
After 5 overtimes, you're tired.
You just lose focus, man. Let me see here. The winner.
A lot of times in those college and high school hockey, you don't actually have an intermission. You just switch periods, switch things.
Really?
You don't do anything. So, yeah, there's not a lot of break.
Holy cow!
That's why they don't last as long.
Wow.
They don't resurface the ice.
That's insane, dude. That is absolutely insane. That's perfect timing. Let's go ahead and take our first break of the day. We'll be back. We're going to talk a little bit of NFL mock draft. See if we can let you know who your team's going to pick.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey, everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
If you or someone you know is looking for a new job or career, you need to visit the pros. National Career Fairs at ncfairs.com. National Career Fairs hosts over 300 career fairs a year nationwide. The events are free and give you the perfect chance to meet some of the top employers in your area face-to-face. To find the nearest career fair to you, visit ncfairs.com. Again, that's ncfairs.com. What are you waiting for?
Veterans served us, now it's time we serve them. As a veteran of Afghanistan and Iraq, as well as a current military member deployed abroad, I would like to take a minute of your time to tell you about Patriot Hills of New York. Patriot Hills of New York is a nonprofit organization providing support to veterans and their families. They partner veterans in need with over 65 health and wellness organizations, community groups, as well as philanthropic foundations providing no or low-cost services. They've helped over 400 veterans through confidential referral services, assistance with veterans issues, employment placement, as well as educational opportunities. If you need assistance or just want to help veterans by donating your time or services, contact them at info@patriothills.org. Again, that's info@patriothills.org. Visit patriothillsofnewyork.com for more information about their services or how you can donate. Our veterans deserve no less. We can give it to them, and you can help.
That will put me in my place, and there is no time like a president.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to Vets on Sports on this beautiful, gorgeous Saturday. 2/3 of the country is getting a little tired of hearing me say that, but you know what? I'm just trying to bring some sunshine into your life, some happiness. And, maybe I can help you as a football fan bring in some happiness by telling you who your team is looking to pick in the upcoming draft. So, with that being said, let me see if I can go ahead and bring up my last draft, just to recap the 1 through 10 before I do the next 5. Because I was looking at it, and after about 15, it starts to get a little tough. So, in the first pick, obviously, I had Tampa Bay taking Jameis Winston.
Which I don't.
I do. I do. Who do you have taken? You haven't taken Mariota.
Yeah.
I think it's the wrong system for Mariota. I think even though I have Mariota being picked here later on in the draft, after seeing what Philadelphia is doing, I think Philly could probably put a package deal together and move up.
Philly already has the handshake deal with the Jets that if Mariota's still there at 6, they're going to move up.
Yeah. So, I
don't think he'll go to Tampa.
I think he's the wrong system.
I don't think Winston's the right fit for Tampa.
I think he's a perfect fit for Tampa. I do. I think he is. Tennessee, I'm taking Leonard Williams, defensive end, USC. Yeah, their defense is horrible. He can put his hands in the dirt. He can rush the passer, and he's a run stuffer as well. He is the best defensive player in the draft. If they pass on him, then look.
Whose are you looking at?
I'm looking at mine right now.
Oh, okay.
And then at number 3, Jacksonville, I got Shane Ray, defensive end, Missouri. Number 4, Oakland, again, the CNC touchdown factory. I've got them taking Amari Cooper. I've got Washington picking up Trey Waynes. And this is actually a jump for me. But I looked at – because Waynes is predicted around about 10. But I looked at Washington – and they have to cover Odell Beckham, and they have to cover Des Bryant, and they need a top corner, a big corner, a good-sized corner that can run with them, that has the speed to run with them, and Trey Waynes is the guy. So I think the Washington's going to jump up and go ahead and take him there. The Jets, again, Mariota, but with everything Philly's doing, like you said, Philly's probably ended up with Mariota. Even though Philly's already said that they're talking to Sanchez to keep him around, but they're not saying he's going to be started. So
see, and I could see this going a different way. I could see the Eagles jumping up into that one of those top 5 spots to get Mariota, even 1 maybe.
No, I wouldn't. You're giving away too much for 1,
which they've already shown they will because they already gave up Sproul or
McCoy.
Which I thought McCoy would be part of the deal to get that number 1
Yeah,
pick.
that was a shock for me. But the Eagles, we'll talk more on the Eagles when we get to the Eagles.
But I was going to say, I could see them jumping up and just messing everything up.
Mm-hmm.
I could see the Jaguars going with Amari Cooper and then the Raiders taking White.
I don't know if the Jags are going to take another receiver at 1 in the first round. They haven't been doing pretty good with that.
No, but they do need a wide receiver.
They need them.
I mean, they have some guys who are good. Like Ace Sanders, I think, is a good number 2. No, he's
Evans at Tampa Bay.
But they have Ace Sanders. They have
suspended
Cecil Shorts,
and they still have
Justin Blackman, who he has to petition to be allowed back.
Yeah,
which he might not be able to come back.
I think he will. I think he's way too young for the commissioner to say your career is over.
Well, he's already been suspended before, and they let him back, and he did it again.
Well, but they just let Gordon back again, and then he gets suspended again. So, I mean, if you're going to let Gordon back, you got to let Blackman back because Blackman didn't do half as bad as Gordon did.
Well, Gordon, I think Blackman's is worse, but he's not. I don't consider Blackman a knucklehead. I think he's really got problems. Where Gordon's just an idiot. I mean, because he's making the decision to do drugs and alcohol, where I think Blackman is really an addict and can't say no.
Well, let's see if we can get him some help.
Yeah.
The question at number 7 with the Chicago Bears. Now, I've got them picking Dante Fowler. I think because Briggs is getting old, I think they really need to try and – there's nothing wrong with their offense. All right? If Jay Cutler, if he stays – by the way, the Bears have until like Tuesday or Wednesday to make that decision to keep Jay Cutler or let him go. But they need to get that defense. They need to get that defense up and going like right now. They need to get back to, the defense from only about 5 years ago that only allowed about 6 to 7 points a game. I mean, and they can do that. There's talent out there to do that with. And I think it starts right now with Dante Fowler Jr., outside linebacker out of Florida. He's 6'3", 260, and he can cover sideline to sideline. Atlanta, another defense outside linebacker / defensive end, 6'6", 240, Randy Gregory out of Nebraska. Stud player. The Giants got to get back to their defense. They just re-signed Pierre Paul. The Giants were in talks for a second to talk about Sue. But I don't think they're going to get him.
Have enough money.
Yeah, so Danny Shelton, defensive tackle out of Washington. Dude's a beast. 339, 6'2", 339. St. Louis.
I like Malcolm Brown too, possibly.
Yeah.
I
Brown.
think they'll go defense. I'm agreeing with you there.
Okay. St. Louis, I put one of two ways. Their first pick would go offensive tackle. They got to shore up that offense. They got to give it. If they're saying that Bradford's their quarterback, they got to give him protection. The only way to help a quarterback that's been injured before is to give him protection and give him that security, and they need it on that line. Offensive tackle Brandon Sheriff out of Iowa, 6'5", 320. This guy.
I could see him going to the Falcons because they need help. I know they got Jake Matthews last year, but
they need more help on defense. Falcons need a lot more help on defense.
They need help all over.
Well, yeah. I mean, anybody in the top 10 sucks. They need help everywhere. All right. This isn't a team that's, top 5 in every category except for passing defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think they're okay having a very high scoring offense and a not so great defense.
But and I agree, which is why I gave a B option, and that's where I got Kevin White falling.
I could see him taking Mariota if he's still there, but
no,
I don't think
Mariota's
he'll
not gonna
be
be
there. I
there.
don't think he'll be
Mariota's, so that's top 10. And then I was working today. The next 5, Minnesota Vikings, their biggest need is in the passing game. They've committed to their quarterback, to their young quarterback. So what you do, since he was a B option for St. Louis for me, he is now the A option for Minnesota, and that's where White will land.
I think they're going Trey Wayne's cornerback.
He's already going to be off the board for me.
See, because I think they're going to need more. They need more help on the back end.
True, but they were 28th in the NFL in passing yards. Give him another target.
Yeah, but I think they could do that free agency. There's a lot of good.
I don't know, and that's
tier wide receivers.
And again, this is all going to get chopped up by next weekend.
Yep.
Because of free agency. But if they stick with it, I like Kevin White. He's a big receiver. He's like a Dwayne Bowe, like an Alshon Jeffries. So I would.
I like White. He's faster than Amari Cooper.
Right.
So he ran a better 40.
Cooper's more of a possession receiver, though. If you need 3 to 4 yards, like right now, he's the go-to guy.
I think I'd like to see White probably fall to Cleveland or Cooper, either way. I don't know if they will, but they really need help at wide receiver.
They won't. Their defense is horrible, though. Again, in Cleveland, 32nd ranked defense, 32nd ranked rushing defense, which is why Vince Wilfork would be a good pick. But if they don't, I'm giving them Malcolm Brown right there, defensive tackle. I think it's a good. They got 2 picks in the first round.
I know,
and I think he's the best fit for what they need right now. They need somebody to plug it. When you're rushing against when your defense has to go against Baltimore's rushing game, against Steelers' rushing game. I mean, you gotta plug up that front line first. All right, so they got to go defensive tackle, man. That's their weak spot. That's their hole. They're allowing almost 4 yards of rush. I mean, it's like worse in the NFL.
Yeah.
New Orleans Saints. The Saints are just a mess, man.
Yeah, they are.
They are totally a mess. Which, by the way, Marcus Ingram, is probably going to end up going to Philly.
And
Chip Kelly likes Ingram
again until his contract here.
Chip Kelly likes Ingram in that offense because Ingram is a one-cut guy, whereas the reason why they got rid of McCoy is because he's like a 9-cut guy. You know, he dances around in the backfield a lot. Now, granted, it works for him, but it's not the type of running back that Kelly wants. Kelly wants a guy that one cut downfield. That's it. You know, he said it speeds up his offense for doing that. It keeps his linemen from having to be engaged for so long and using up so much energy. So they want that one cut running back. So I think Philly will end up getting Ingram. The Dolphins, other than being the front runner, apparently now for Sue, they need that big prototype receiver. And there is one available at 6'3", 209 pounds in Devontae Parker out of Louisville.
Which I could see the Browns taking him maybe if he's
available.
If he's available, and one of those other two wide receivers are gone.
Right. San Francisco 49ers. Me personally, I'm not sold on Kaepernick. I'm not sold on anything I've seen of him that says he's a quarterback. I'm just not. They were 30th.
See, they don't
in passing yards last year,
and they're good in a lot of areas. They don't necessarily need.
They were fourth in rush,
so
which is why a lot of people are saying, you know what they need to do is take that stress off of Kaepernick and trying to make him that pocket passer. They need to go back to that rushing game, just that ground and pound, which is why I agree with them. And I'm giving him La'el Collins, offensive tackle out of LSU, 6'4", 305.
What about Andrus Peat?
He's another guy.
Because he's from Stanford. It's not
he is from Stanford. I was looking at that.
They do have a habit of taking Stanford guys. I know
that
was a Harbaugh connection.
But he opens up way too early and is susceptible to double moves. He opens up way too early. He tries to jump it and guess where the run is going as opposed of reacting to where he's going. You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't have that speed to be able to do that. So he opens up a lot, which it can improve from coaching. All right? It can definitely improve by good coaching, good O-line coaching. But as far as somebody coming in that already has what you need, then, yeah, La'el Collins, offensive tackle. All right, so let's look at 16. You got the Houston Texans. You got this debacle that's going on with basically the face of their team. I mean, Andre Johnson says he doesn't want to be there no more. How bad has things gotten in Houston for Andre Johnson, one of the prototype players in the NFL?
He's older, though.
I know he's older, but he's like the marquee guy. If somebody comes out and says, I mean, you want a certain person to be a leader on your team and go out there and give 100% for every time you're on the field, Andre Johnson's the guy. He is. Granted, his stats might drop a little bit, but he's never gotten below 80 catches. He had, 88 catches last year with no quarterback? With no solid quarterback? I mean, the guy went out there and performed again, and now they're treating him like, you know what, you're just old. So we don't want you anymore. Thanks for being loyal to us. We're going to let you go, though. And again, we talked about this with the same situation in Arizona where Larry Fitzgerald put in his time. He's not the fastest receiver. He doesn't have that top-end speed, but he is a leader on the team. And he's that one guy that you can always rely on. He's got great character, never in trouble. Johnson's the exact same way. And they're looking at cutting him. It's like, what? I don't know, man. I would love to have somebody like Johnson on the Patriots. Oh, hell yeah. Are you serious?
I think he wants too much money. Anyway, who are they picking?
I think it's more of a respect thing at this point. If you put in your time, if you keep your mouth closed, if you go out there and you do your job, you expect to be paid off for that.
But he hasn't kept his mouth closed the past couple of years. That's part of the problem.
But that's because they keep talking about dropping him. I mean, it's the same thing with Rondo in Boston. Every time there were trade rumors, his name came up. Same thing with Ray Allen. The reason why Ray Allen left Boston. Every time there was possible trade rumors, Ray Allen cares. That's why he didn't stay with Boston, because he was tired of that. He wanted security. All right, so let's look at this. Houston Texans. This is what the pros have him taken, the so-called pros. Well, L. Collins, who's already off the board for me. Eric Flowers out of Miami, offensive tackle. Melvin Gordon and Jalen Collins. Melvin Gordon, running back. I like the Gordon pick.
Yeah.
Houston's a running team. Houston's a running team. All right. They've already said that their quarterback of the future is already there.
Well, they've got two, Mallet and Savage.
Right. They say in Mallett's already there. He's starting.
One of those guys.
All right. So their offense is set up as a rushing team for Foster, for whoever's next in line. I want to see Gordon drop to the Patriots. Not going to happen. No way in hell. Gordon's not going to make it probably past 21, maybe 22, if that. He's a beast. He's a big prototype running back. He's strong. I like that pick for him to go to Houston.
Not a bad pick. I could see him doing running back. They could even go Gurley.
Yeah,
Maybe
Gurley.
one or the other.
There's only like 2, maybe 3 stud running backs that are out there. Gurley's one. Let me see if I can bring it up. No, I can't right now. But
Well, you got Gurley and Gordon. Those are your two.
that's
top
pretty much
running
it.
backs.
If any running backs get drafted in the first round, those are it.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else jumping up. Plus, you still got free agency, which, by the way, Maurice Jones-Drew just retired after 9 years. So, okay. So, Houston, I can see them taking a running back. I can definitely see them taking a running back. Next on the list, San Diego. Now, San Diego just signed Jones, which I thought was a great pickup for them. San Diego's offense is all about passing the ball. Jones has a lot of speed. He's a good pickup for them.
Yeah, but their center retired, so I could see him taking an offensive lineman here.
Right,
TJ
which is why
or Brandon Sharif if he's
Sharif
still there.
I already have
He's
gone.
gone. If he's not gone,
I already have gone. So you got to look.
or even Andrus Pete if he's still there.
I would put Pete there.
I think they'll go offensive line.
Yeah, I would put Pete there.
They could go running back, but I don't think they will. I think they're okay.
See, the problem with this draft is there's a lot of tackles. There's a lot of tackles, and not too many of the tackles can be put in as guards or centers.
Well, it's always easier to learn
It
to play
is
guard than it is to play
So
tackle.
if they take tackle, they could be looking at somebody like TJ Clemens. All right, or they could be looking at somebody like Eric Flowers.
I mean, they could even look to get a guard and convert him
free
to a
agency?
center. No, just someone who's maybe not that high rated. There are a lot of tackles, and maybe you look at taking a guard and converting him to center, or take a tackle and make it a project to convert him to center.
Yeah, but if you're looking at somebody to start for you,
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing that, they're not starting.
yeah, so they're going to have to pick up somebody, either free agency or whatever. But I don't think they're either going to have to draft a pure center or they're going to have to pick one up for free
Yeah.
agency.
Well, they also have King Dunlap at tackle, who's been hurt the past couple of years. So getting a good backup for him might be a priority as well.
Right.
So I think they'll go offensive line.
I'm looking at the list of free agencies here. There's a Mike Iupati, maybe, would be a good pickup for them. He's more of a guard,
Yeah.
but he's a veteran. You know, he's been in it. There's not too many. The first true center out there is Rodney Hudson from the Chiefs.
Well, they have a backup center, but
Right,
I think you got to think long term.
right. So, I mean, there's a lot of different people. We're going to go through this list here in a second for the top 20, 25 free agents that are out there.
We only
Try
got
and
about
guess where
10
they're
minutes
going.
left. So,
Well, let's start looking at this right now.
well, you want to do the rest of the draft or what?
Well, we're not going to make it through all 30 teams. So I think 15 is good for today. 15, 16, over 16, 17, somewhere around there. Well, let's go to 20. Let's do that. All right. So who's next?
Chiefs.
The Kansas City Chiefs. They need a receiver, man.
Yeah, they're going to let Bo go.
They need a receiver. Randall Cobb's on the market. I like Randall Cobb with the Chiefs because the Chiefs love to use their running backs to run with.
Yeah.
And Randall Cobb does that. Does that pretty well.
They're pretty good on defense. So it's probably going to be offense.
So I could totally see them either picking up Cobb or going for somebody like
Devin Smith.
Kevin Smith's already off the board. There's no way Kevin Smith lasts that
Devin
long.
Smith.
Oh, Devin Smith. You know who I like for the Chiefs? Because he reminds me of Bo out of
Jalen
Arizona
Strong.
State. Jalen Strong. And he had a great pro day.
I
He
think
caught
that's a little early,
everything.
though.
I think it might be a little early.
I mean, in fairness, I could see him going next to the Browns if they don't take a wide receiver at 12.
Okay.
I
could see that.
both of
Or
these
Devin
teams.
Smith out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that where Kansas City and Cleveland both go. So you can put Devin Smith in Kansas City, and then you can put Jalen Strong in Cleveland.
Yeah. I could see either one of those. Both of them need a wide receiver.
But since it is Cleveland, maybe Devin Smith from Ohio State.
Well, it's going to be whatever the Chiefs do because they got the
Right.
guy in front of them.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But Jalen Strong, I thought he was like a third-round pick. But he showed up. He led the combine for his vertical.
Mm-hmm.
They said he caught everything on his pro day. He didn't miss anything. So the problem with Jalen Strong is he's not one of those wide receivers that'll take the top off of the defense.
He's a little undersized too.
Yeah, well,
A little.
just a little bit. But I mean, he's got one hell of a vertical. So on a 50-50 ball, the chances of him coming down with it are pretty good. So I like him. Having the ability to watch and cover him. Maybe I'm a little partial. I don't want to see him go to Cleveland, but I think he would be a good fit for Cleveland. It's a young team, a young offense. Get him out there, see what he can do. I think he'll be a first-round pick this year based just on what he did on his pro day and at the combine. So it's not bad. Not bad. And number 20, Philadelphia. Philadelphia is not going to be at this pick.
No, they won't. They'll be up earlier.
So
Especially if they can get, Mariota.
So they move up. Let's say they move up to 6. So this is the Jets pick, and then the Jets will get another early one, or they'll get their like second or third round pick this year or a first round pick next year. So if the Jets are picking at 20, this is when a lot of those corners and that secondary players start coming into play. But I don't think the Jets need to think about that right now. I think they need to concentrate on their offense. The Harvin's leaving, Marshall's there. They still need a quarterback. So who is the quarterback? Let's say a quarterback gets moved up to the first round. Okay. Who are they going to pick?
I think it's Hundley, but he didn't have
Hundley, yeah.
he didn't
I
have
can
a
see
great
that.
he didn't have a great combine. So I don't think I kind of had a feeling that you would see Jameis or Mariota go 1 and 2, but not necessarily to the Titans.
Right.
And then the Titans trade back in with the Patriots or the Seahawks and get Hundley there at the end of the first round. That's how I saw it playing out. But with Hundley having such a bad pro day and combine, I don't know if that's going to happen now. If he would have came out last year, he would have been a top 10 pick.
I like Connor Halladay from Washington State. I've always liked
I think
Connor
anybody
Halladay.
beyond Winston and Mariota is questionable in the first round.
What about like Bryce Petty out of Baylor?
Same thing.
Really?
I don't even know if you'll see anybody go in the second round. It might be the third before you see another quarterback.
But the Jets need a quarterback, dude. They desperately need a quarterback. Not that anything makes me happier than to see the Jets in last place, but yeah, they need a quarterback, man. They really do.
Maybe they get one of these guys who's out there.
Well, let me look. Let's look at
Hoyer's going to be available. He's obviously not going to Buffalo now, and he's not coming back to Cleveland. You know that.
Let me look at quarterback here. Let's check out who's out there.
Sanchez, it looks like he might be coming back to the Eagles, but he's not
Jason
going to go back
Campbell.
to the Jets.
All right, this is what we got. Jason Campbell, Jimmy Clausen, Matt Flynn, Blaine Gabbert, Matt Hasselbeck, Sean
Hasselbeck's
Hill,
starting.
Brian Hoyer, Tavares Jackson, Josh Johnson, Jake Locker, maybe. Luke McCown, Cole McCoy, Matt Moore, Orlovsky.
Matt Moore might make sense there.
I don't know, man. I didn't get a chance. I guess because we didn't get a chance to see that much of him out of Miami.
He was basically paid to be a backup quarterback. They paid him a lot.
What
of
about
money
Mark Sanchez going back to the
teach.
Jets?
I don't think that's happening. No way.
The coach is gone.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
Tyrod Taylor, Scott Tolzien, Michael Vick,
I could see Sean Hill.
TJ Yates.
I heard he had issues with the line call, with the learning a new offense.
Yeah, there's not much out there to bring in and actually pay money for free agency.
I could see Sean Hill. He would be a decent fit. Matt Moore
Yeah, but
might
he's
be a
so
decent
old.
fit. It's not your future. This is your
You just want to get him
present.
through this season?
A couple years. I mean, look at the Cardinals and Carson Palmer. He just restructured his contract.
Maybe Brian Hoyer's that person. He's anointed.
Could be. I don't see him going to New York, though. I just don't see it working there.
I think whoever will pay him, I see him
Yeah.
going.
I mean, I like Hoyer. I think he's a good quarterback. He's not great. He's
Ryan
slightly above average.
Mallett's also on the list, but Houston's already said they're
Yeah.
gonna work with him.
And it looks like Sanchez is going back to the Eagles. So you might want to, even if they take Mariota, he might still be their backup.
It's going to be interesting because, again, there's really nobody out there. Sanchez has proven himself. Vic, maybe, but no. Jake Locker, Ryan Mallett, and Brian Hoyer. That's out of everybody else. Nobody really did anything last year. Everybody
See,
basically sat on the sideline.
I thought Hoyer was going to go to the Bills, but with them trading for Castle, that's interesting.
Yeah, that was an interesting pick. I didn't see Matt Castle going to Buffalo.
Yeah.
That was a little weird.
Maybe they release Manuel.
That was-
DJ Manuel's available.
with Rex Ryan taking a former New England quarterback.
Hey, the Bills had Drew Bledsoe before, remember?
That's true. And look what they did with it. So, yeah, let's go ahead and take a break. We're going to come back with what are we coming back with? We're coming back with baseball player rankings. Goldschmidt's fourth.
Veterans served us. Now it's time we serve them. As a veteran of Afghanistan and Iraq, as well as a current military member deployed abroad,